Hey guys, what is going on, Rush here, and welcome back to an episode of Cards and Castles. I think this is going to be in the known combos. I'm not super sure. The only reason why I'm actually putting it in known combos is because it's a deck that you guys, if you watch the channel for a while, that you are aware of its existence. You do know what deck this is, and there is gameplay of it up on the channel already, be it a bit outdated. But the deck I kind of wanted to revisit, just purely because of, me. I haven't touched the deck in a while. I kind of actually got rid of it to make room for some other decks, and I kind of rebuilt it a little bit, but of course improved on it slightly just because I went back and looked at the original deck list, and of course there were a lot of factors in that deck that don't really hold true in this format, so I did kind of make some swaps in that regard. But regardless, we are going to be taking a look at the Kaiju's Will deck again. Hopefully get some more matches in here since you guys are familiar with the deck list already. I'm not going to go too in detail. I'll point out some of the changes, but then we'll jump right into some gameplay, perhaps some multiple matches for you guys to enjoy. But of course, with that being said, I do kind of want to bring up a quick fact that, usually December for me is one of the busy months of the year, as is for most folks, holiday season and whatnot. So, again, I just kind of want to bring up the fact that uploads might not be as consistent, and you guys have probably already noticed that. Things should get back to normal after January, but I kind of just wanted to slide that point in there. As you can see, this is a video on a deck that I kind of already done, but you know, it's new, it's improved, but I just kind of want to throw things out there. So, with that being said, enough of me chit chat. Let's go ahead and get into the deck list for Kaiju's Will 2.0. Where is my? There it is. I've got my mouse on this wire, so I'm putting it down for a hot second, and the mouse cursor drifts off. Anyway, deck list for Kaiju's Will. Of course, we are still in the Warlock Ninja. I almost said Pirate for a hot minute. Warlock Ninja for the Kaiju's Will 2.0 deck, and you could already see some big changes already right out of the gate. Obviously, we're not running guards. I actually looked back, and the first thing that kind of stuck out to me was the fact that I had Hassan guards in there, and that was a throwback to when they're, of course, 2-1 each, and that, of course, not really plausible anymore, them being 1-2. Also, you notice that I don't run the Grotesque Offering anymore. And that does prove a little bit of an issue for draw and whatnot. And Grotesque Offering did work for the deck. Obviously, if you want to get rid of a Last Will unit, you chop it down to not only boost Andrew, but get those two cards. So, I might try to factor in Grotesque. I'm not sure where yet. Although there are some other additions to the deck, Masuta and Imp as these new 2-drops. Sunflower for me is usually, in my opinion, a bit too slow of a card, even though it does fit the Last Will standard, and it does get thrown around a lot in the Last Will decks. I just don't like how slow it is here, so of course they are being chopped down a little bit, or at least chopped out of the deck for now, in place of the Imp, and of course Masuda taking the spot of the Song Guards. Masuda's ability actually going to be quite useful, considering how top-heavy some of our bigger units are. Obviously, you got Andrew, Keeper, General, Ranger, Kaiju, and Mordok, all of which are above 4 gold, so of course that Masuda buff is nice to kind of get things at a lower cost, get some more things out earlier, and of course the big stars of the deck, Kaiju, General, Andrew, etc. Nice to have them out sooner rather than later, so a good addition to that as well. Other factors, though, things that, are not only not surprising, we've got the Rat King again, Darkbender, Lumberjack, Blacksmith Armory, and of course these were kind of in the other iteration as well. So again, not too much of a difference. I did keep the lunging attack though, since Kaiju is a slower unit, and you could argue that I could actually fit Sunflower in here with the lunging attack in the deck too. For people who are saying, you might be saying like, oh, you just mentioned that Sunflower was too slow, then how come you have Kaiju? One, because Kaiju, of course, the big star of the deck, and two, the lunging attack does help the slow a little bit. I just for me, Sunflower is just not the unit I would immediately jump onto. But in terms of other Last Will stuff, though, what do we have in the deck? Obviously, you've got the Lumberjack, Salahar Rider, Banshee, all great Last Will additions. And of course, you also got Andrew and General. Of course, General to reactivate a lot of the Last Will combinations, Andrew to receive some buffs, and of course, the Kaiju itself is a Last Will unit, so you get some more value out of that, too. And actually, going along slightly with the Last Will stuff, if you guys remember the previous iteration, I was actually running Grendel rather than Keeper here, purely because Grendel was the guaranteed Last Will. Going back, I thought that the buff wouldn't hurt me too much, and I could actually benefit more off of the Grendel Last Will activation and the stats of Grendel, rather than having to worry about, giving that +2 buff to another enemy unit. I switched it for Keeper, though. Not only does it come with the Banshee possibility, so again, more Last Will fuel, but you also have some great units in Horseman and Wraith. Again, the Undead pool is very powerful. Probably one of the powerful pools you can pull from in the game. So having that, I guess, access, another reason why Keeper is in here. Although I will say maybe more for the Last Will stuff with Andrew and whatnot. In terms of everything else, though, I mean, Mordock, obviously, no surprise why he's in here. Great unit for any deck. Ranger providing a little extra stats, a little extra power to the deck. Where Kaiju is a slower unit, he can't immediately attack off of summon. Ranger kind of fixes that handicap for him a little bit. And of course, I did mention previously, Darkbender, Burns, Dragon's Fire, and Blue Firebolt. The only ones I really think are going to do you any, good here. You could argue Flamestorm in here maybe, but you'd rather run Flamestorm when you have the Tarius Files in your deck, as you draw 2 cards. Although, you could argue Flamestorm can make a good addition to this deck as well. Maybe swap out the Rat Kings a little bit, mess around with their numbers, and then of course throw in some Flamestorms. So it's up to you on how you want to approach that. And of course, I do have Fear back here for some draw cycle as well. Since these colors, of course, aren't really draw favored, Fear and Lumberjack. And again, I'm thinking about offering, but for now, it's going to be these 2 cards. So, with that being said, I think I've spent enough on the deck, and of course, you guys are mostly familiar with it as well. But let's go ahead and get some matches, though, get some gameplay, and see if the Kaiju's Will 2.0 can handle as well as the original incarnation. Alright, so for our first matchup here, we have actually an interesting hand. We do have the Rider and Andrew together in the same hand, as well as Masuda. I'm actually going to go ahead and swap out the Andrew, though, because I don't think the Rider is going to be able to survive long enough, if you kind of get my drift there, for me to play the Andrew. Okay, so he starts out with the Rider. I'm going to go ahead and actually meet that with the Rider, so, see what I mean? It's better for me to just kind of intercept something with this Rider here, just to, get that early interaction out of the way and not have to worry about saving it for Andrew later. And of course, I have other options as well, so I'm not completely worried. I think right now, better to play the Imp than the Masuda. Obviously, the Masuda buff can't help us yet, really. So better to play the Imp, get some more damage, which we will actually get successfully here. Yes, I almost forgot how to say the word successfully. And we're going to follow up the Rat King, of course, see if we can put some more pressure on the board. He is running Warlock, so maybe a Flamestorm. Although, running the Druid combination as well. I'm not sure if Flamestorm is in our future. A Fire Drake is, though. Alright, very nice, very nice. I think it might be better if we do this. Rat King meets the castle there. We bring out the Masuda. And we kind of give him the option to only hit the Rat King and see if he takes it. If he does, hopefully we'll be able to bring out our General early. And it looks like we are going to kind of be able to, considering that the Keeper is the card being thrown out. Or not. Okay, well, that was a bit rude, sir. You know that, right? Oh, boy. We're going to play the Taboo move. Play the Armory. Gets rid of our buff for Masuda, unfortunately. But we do... I think I'd rather take this approach. We put more pressure on the castle, and of course, we'll follow up somehow, whether by damaging the castle even more at this point, or just, you know, ending the game, maybe? Not sure. Because Masuda, or Keeper has to interact with something. Alright, Drain Life on the top rat, and a Grimthal. Okay. Good move. Good move there. Gets him a couple of extra cards into that hand of his, which is unfortunate for us. But I think what we can do is fear the big boy back, right? These rats continue to strike castle, and then we bring up another Rat King in hopes of this just rushing face. And hopefully ending out the game. There's a Horseman, so he's actually playing one of those cards. Okay, Witch Bolt is going to give me some additional draw, Construct. So he's cleaning up quite well. Cleaned up really well, actually. Alright, not bad. Clean that up very nicely. I think we'll shut down that, kind of put a stop to it. And then get the Banshee out, I think. That's the play. I did give him the, or at least it's unfortunate that he ended up actually drawing a lot of undead units into that hand of his, so he is more equipped. Yeah, let's see, Banshee. Although I think we'll be able to make a solid trade here. You know what we can do? We can do this. We can risk it a little bit here. We can risk it. We're going to throw out the general. If he can't kill it or falls back, we'll bring out the Kaiju to summon from Arcanon to end the game, because we'll get a Kaiju Junior that can move. So if he can't get rid of this general, we win. If he throws something to body block, we win. That's fine. You can play the Wraith there. Or the way. Oh wait, will the Wraith do? Oh, I don't like that. Here's what we'll try and do. We'll do this. Kaiju comes out. Knock the Wraith. Can we get the summon off? We can't get the summon off. And then we just end the game. For a minute there, I thought the Wraith would push back the general, and our Kaiju would summon, like, below him in the back here, so we wouldn't be able to get that off. But I think our combo took priority in that sense, because we were the ones engaging them. We were the ones attacking, so I think it did make sense there. But anyway, that does pick up our first win with the deck. I'm going to go ahead and actually jump into another matchup here and see if we can put down another game for you guys, just because, you know, you guys should be familiar. And oh, there we go. So match number 2, actually. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, and much like before, we're going to rock a starting hand of Rider and Imp. We'll follow up with a General, though, and a Lumberjack. Alright, I'm going to actually go with the Lumberjack in this case, because obviously draw is important to us. Having those resources is important to the deck, so we'll take that. Following up with the Rider, I see, from our opponent here, and that's fine. I will take damage for draw. I'm not super worried about that. We're going to respond with a Imp. Yes, we'll respond with an Imp, and then maybe even get ourselves into a Blacksmith. I believe... Oh, what could he be running? Ninja Viking. We could see traps, dragons, other stuff. I don't know what these colors run sometimes. We'll go with the Blacksmith. It looks like he didn't summon anything to avoid damage, although we are going to chip away a big amount there, taking away 6 from the castle with our Imp and Imp burn. And that's fine. We stall for time, get ourselves a bit more resources. He'll throw out a metal into a Horseman. Could get some big value here, and he does, taking out the Blacksmith. That's a pain in the ass. Do get a Kaiju for our troubles. Honestly, not what I'm looking for. And again, this is what I mean by having those Masudas, because this deck is top heavy. It is decently top heavy. So, alright, Masuda in the back there, looks like. Alright, we'll get our Dark Bender. We'll go ahead and throw that out. I won't be aggressive with the Rider, because we can probably make some use out of it with General. And obviously that Masuda is being held back to at least get the summon off on something bigger. So I want to have all the power that I can to take out whatever he's got coming forward. Could be an early Minotaur, could be a green Drake. So, okay, confirmation that we are facing off against Drakes here, it looks like. And we do have to be careful, considering that that Drake can do nasty things to our Dark Bender if paired with Aeroth correctly. I think the play is going to be General, right? Yeah, play is going to be General here. We'll move the Salahar Rider back a little bit. He did keep that Green Drake back, so potentially Aeroth stuff happening in that hand of his, and that's why I moved the Darkbender on top. Although he has the Aeroth, doesn't really matter. He'll be able to position that Green Drake in a much better spot to nab the Darkbender. It's kind of a benefit with Dragons and Aeroth. Originally, people didn't think Aeroth was going to be all too useful since it used to give an attack buff, and now that was gone. But actually, the Winds one has been making a lot more progress with the Dragons. Of course, sending units 3 spaces ahead, and then also having that extra movement from their actual movement certainly helps them get some big value off on certain targets. Although I don't know if... Okay. So we've got a Masuda incoming to block. We've got a Dragon Siege. Okay, that could be a little scary. Here's what we'll do. We're going to go ahead and just zap this down. We don't have enough for a Kaiju, or else that would be our move. And then we could follow that up with just some Rat King stuff. Where are we going to throw you? I'll throw the Salahar up, actually, and get more of an engagement down here. See if I can bait out anything. Because at this point, the General is being saved for the Kaiju. Okay, there's a Lumberjack. I'm surprised that didn't come down to... Oh, okay, Swiftness. We're getting some extra draw here, I guess. Getting some extra value. Alright, definitely getting some extra value here. Storm Strike, all that. I mean, not a lot, but it's something, I guess. Another Lumberjack, okay. That's the one that takes out Salahar, I presume. We do more castle damage with that, so we'll take it. And then maybe Masuda to follow up. Okay, Faithful Drake. That'll be the play. That will be the play of the game. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move some things around here. We'll get our second General out. Move in some rats, see if we can bait out anything. Kind of put them, scurrying them around the board a little bit. And then, of course, again, set up for the big Kaiju play. Getting a free Kaiju off of the General Summon. And again, we did want to get rid of that Salahar Rider in that previous turn at some point. Okay, Swiftness. So we might actually lose the General, looks like. Because he's got the Swiftness. Storm Strike. He's got 4 damage. Can you make it more? Okay, yeah. So General does die. Although we will trade with that. Surprisingly enough. We're not in a worse off position. We just lose that Kaiju summon. But it could have a really... yeah. Alright, he does surrender. I could have had a really good chance to spawn block if I just moved those rats up, maybe Kaiju. I was going to get Kaiju out anyway next turn, but yeah, when you waste that many Storm Strikes and cards for 1 unit, that's a pretty big oof, pretty big loss of value. But with that being said, we did pick up our second win with the Kaiju's Will, 2.0, and overall, both solid test runs, both solid demonstrations of how the new and improved Kaiju's Will works. Again, not too different from the original incarnation, but there are a few different points. You saw that. I was gonna probably think about getting that keeper out in the previous game as well, but who knows? Who knows? I still have a lot more decks to play, and maybe I'll again rank the Kaiju's will, see where that bad boy ends up, because he was, I believe, somewhere around the 3200s, so he definitely can pull off the big wins, but. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I plan to do with the 2.0. But with that being said, I think it's going to be a good place for us to close the video. With that being said, guys, I hope you did enjoy this edition of Known Combos. Let me know what you guys think of the Kaiju's Will deck by leaving, or at least the Kaiju's Will 2.0 deck. Excuse me, I keep forgetting it's the newer version, the 2.0, if you will. By leaving your thoughts down in the comment section below. And of course, if you guys are already down there and haven't done so already, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, share it with friends, and of course, subscribe if you are new or haven't done so already. All the support that you guys can give the channel comes from hitting that subscribe button. Maybe slapping the little bell as well to stay notified when videos go live. Of course, Scary Kappa 2020. So, always want to be prepared with those notifications and whatnot. So, yeah, with that being said, guys, that's going to do it for me for now. So, until next time, stay gaming.